Shout out for that. You'll be bored of us by then.
No, never.
Right, so we've clicked go live.
Are we live?
We're a minute or two ahead of schedule, so we'll just hang on.
Are we actually live?
Yeah, but we're okay. We're just 30 seconds away from people arriving to watch.
TikTok.
We've had people preparing their canapes in advance for this evening, which is quite nice. Very organised of them.
Is that people there?
A couple of people joined us already. So
hello.
Good evening, everybody.
Evening all. Evening. Thursday what is it today? 7th?
Yeah,
7th. Blue this evening to match the colour of...
Don't forget to bank holiday tomorrow. You're not working.
It's true. Everybody remember this. Today we've got...
Hi, everyone.
We've got Hilary and Simon phoned in. So we've got kind of people on phones and we've got YouTube and Facebook going on. So it's going to be a busy old tasting this evening. But welcome. Thursday, Lockdown Live tasting.
6th of May, Hannibal Brown, yet another event. How many have we done?
Episode 5, I think.
What does Susan say? It's like a Star Wars episode.
a never-ending run of wine tasting on a Thursday. Quite nice, really.
The mutter's behaving at the moment. It's a bad boy.
So we've got quite a few people joined us now. So quick introduction. Welcome to Hannibal Brown's Lockdown Live Tastings. I'm Jude.
And I'm Pam.
This is Finn. Finn's very relaxed today because he took all of his energy out on a Portuguese water dog this morning, but that's another story for another time.
Let's not go there again.
We should probably just pour a glass whilst we're waiting for
we were just mopping up the rosé actually from last night, which is rather nice. As I said, blue because the sun's shining. I hope the sun is shining everywhere everybody is. Anybody up there from Scotland? Anybody up there from Northern Ireland? I don't know.
Sun won't be shining there.
Anyway, so tonight is David and Goliath. So obvious extremities in terms of taste range, which we thought might be quite interesting. And Jude has superbly prepared the canapes for the evening, which you may have had sight of. They're all on the website, so if you haven't seen the recipes, you can go onto hannibalbrown.com at a later time and check out the recipes, but we'll talk to you about them in any case.
A few hellos, because we've got Russell Clark joined us, and hello Claire.
Hello Russell, hello Claire.
Russell
from
might be saying hello
Wales,
to Claire.
I believe.
Hi Penny, hi Steve, thanks for joining us. Hi Sam. We are in Trebanos. I have no idea where that is. It sounds like southern Spain, but I doubt it is at this point in time. Hi to Luke and Simon as well. Thanks for joining.
Yeah.
So
what's been happening this week?
Well, good question actually. What's the update, Pam?
Oh, what is the update? Well, we've had a few baking disasters. Well, I have had a few baking disasters.
I've got a 100% failure record on cake making this week.
Julie's a very good bread maker, although this week is quite a heavy one.
Yeah, we're getting through it.
What else has been happening? I washed the van.
All very exciting stuff. But so
hair's got a bit longer. Oh, the scissors arrived for the hair.
Quite worryingly, actually.
So
yes.
now I do know that a few of you are watching just because you find it amusing that the hair keeps getting longer and longer and longer. Well, you should tune in on Sunday at 6 o'clock and see what it looks like, and then you'll have a laugh.
Could be hats all round, I'd say by then, or number twos.
But it's normally at this time of the year we're not here.
That's true. We actually should be in Gloucestershire,
camped out at badminton horse trials.
Yeah, this is day 2 of badminton horse trials.
Yeah.
It's a real shame actually, but such a fun event, and we're missing it. But it's great to have you guys come along and ease the pain by joining us on our fun Lockdown Live tasting. So first of all, I think it's right to say a big happy Thursday, happy bank holiday weekend.
Happy
Cheers,
Thursday,
everybody.
happy birthday. Happy VE Day.
And VE Day tomorrow, yeah. Cheers, Finn.
And then we'll start talking about the wine in a minute.
Finn hasn't got a glass today because he'll make a mess of the sofa. He's got a few dry biscuits. Those of you who joined us for our rosé day on Sunday might have spotted, if you tuned in at the very, very beginning, you would have caught him just eating the canapes. I found a higher solution for them this evening, and he's lower, so I think it should work.
Yeah. So,
just a few more hellos. Hi to Clarky, Michelle.
Hello, Clarky.
Hi, Turf.
Kerry and
Felicity and Jane. Hello.
Nice to see you this evening. Glad you got your wine. Service with a smile, obviously.
Bonsoir to Vicky.
And bonsoir to Monsieur Rencontre.
who's not French, but I'm sure we'll at least understand bonsoir, like everyone else.
Yeah. So those of you who are new to this and don't know us, so we tend to focus on wines from sort of ethical backgrounds. A lot of them are organic. Now, the two wines that we got this evening are arguably organically produced, although they don't have this certification that states that they are organic. But we know better, and we know how well their winemaking skills are, and we know how little sort of chemical intervention is there, which is pretty much nothing. So for all intents and purposes, you can assume that these two wines are as good as organic, which means well, much better for my brain cells in any case.
Cleanly produced by producers who really care what they're doing and don't use unnecessary chemicals, because they just go for really good quality fruit in the first place.
Yeah.
So if you've got a really good quality grape, then you're going to have nice juice from it, and you don't need to start messing around.
Yeah.
Which is what we're all about. Hi to the Wahlbergs, by the way.
Hello, Wahlbergs. Cheshire.
LG. Not sure who LG is.
Hi, LG.
LG has joined.
Isn't that the name of TV?
Or a brand of something. Anyway, yeah. So David and Goliath is the tasting this evening. Every Thursday we choose a couple of wines and we put out the canapé recipes in advance. So I've got a solution for that. Actually.
I know, Jude's going to go technical on you any second.
So we put out the canapés in advance on the website, so people can have a go at preparing canapés depending on what you can actually get hold of. And we have had to improvise a little bit this evening, amusingly, i.e. the duck canapé isn't duck.
Because we couldn't find a duck.
And the lovely cucumber base has been substituted by grilled courgette. But hey, it's all about improvisation. So David and Goliath, we've got the two wines. One is our Pinot Noir from Germany, and that's David. And Goliath is a monster Grand Reserva Syrah from Chile. And I'm just going to show you the shots.
Oh, here we go.
The
bit more technology.
Here we go.
Ooh,
sorry.
There they are.
Those are the two wines we'll be tasting. Isn't that clever? So the Pinot Noir on the left and the Syrah on the right. And you can almost see the difference in colour there. But as actually Michelle has pointed out, you can see the difference in colour in the glass.
Instantly. So here we go. Very technical. So Pinot Noir. What's all special about Pinot Noir?
It's very light.
Very light, and it's bloody difficult to produce. So there's not a huge amount of it in the world. Well, I mean, there is, but by comparison to other grape varieties, it's a real challenge for winemakers to make this, because very often it kind of thrives in sort of lower climates, but equally that's its worst enemy in a sense that, sometimes it just doesn't ripen. And in order to get really good Pinot Noir, it's got to be ripe.
Starter for 10.
Oh,
okay,
yes.
So we like to put our questions out there and test your knowledge or your Googling abilities, because we can't keep an eye on that. So here's your starter for 10. What is the most famous white wine produced from the Pinot Noir grape? Okay, putting it out there. Feel free to
Did you get it?
Pop your answers out there. Hilary and Simon are on the phone. If you want to put yourselves out there, you can put your guess out as well.
Ask the question again.
So the most famous white wine produced from the red Pinot Noir grape.
Yes, there we go.
Okay. Straight in. Here we go.
She's in.
Sam has got the answer. And
she's had her head in the books this week.
Steve found it confusing, which says to me, should pour another glass.
Come on, Steve, get with it, mate.
Sam is straight in, and Luke. The answer is, of course, champagne.
Yeah.
So there's three grape. We talked about this the other day, actually. There's three grape varieties, all three grape varieties actually in champagne, and Pinot Noir being the main red grape, Chardonnay being the white grape, and then there's
Pinot
another
Meunier.
red grape which we now know is Pinot Meunier.
Yeah.
Kerry's suggestion of Fizzy Wizzy. I'm hoping that's not a serious entry to the competition.
So just a little word about the Pinot Noir then. So naturally, it doesn't have an awful lot of pigments in the skins. So hence, you always tend to get a very light colour. Also, it doesn't necessarily have a huge amount of tannin in it, which means that it's great for summer drinking in that you can actually chill it. And you can't chill most red wines, but you can chill Pinot Noir. This hasn't been chilled, although it did come out of our cellar. And so it's actually not too bad. But
no, it's really nice room temperature.
This is a nice room temperature, but I know maybe a few of you already put it in the fridge, and I think what it does is it just lifts the fruit. If you tried it with the next wine, that would be a disaster because that Syrah is just too big. But we'll go on to that one in a second. So don't expect to see a huge amount of colour in Pinot Noir.
For that reason.
Yes, exactly. That's why they're so popular, because they're nice and light, fruity, not too hectic, but actually can be quite a serious wine.
Yeah.
So in Burgundy, and I'm
it's
sure
the only grape variety produced in Burgundy. The
red
only red grape variety.
And they are some fantastic wines, and you can pay
the best in the world,
hundreds and hundreds upwards a bottle.
But this chap, Ernst Lucen, at the Villa-Wolf Winery, some of you might have tuned in on Sunday when we covered his rosé. Same grapes, Pinot Noir rosé. The difference between that one and this one is that the grapes for the rosé weren't macerated for as long on the skins, and therefore there's less colour. But to all intents and purposes, you're getting, it's essentially the same wine almost, but more concentration because it's been made. The grapes have been sort of worked a little bit harder.
An extra depth extracted from all the goodness in those skins.
Yeah.
There's a good question just come in actually from the Wahlbergs, which is, what about Pinotage? Is it related to Pinot Noir?
Oh, well,
there we go.
I'm sure the Wahlbergs are South African, and surely they know the answer to that
it's
question.
a good question though, because yes, Pinot Noir is one of the parent grapes of Pinotage.
Yeah.
And we asked this question a couple of weeks ago, and the other parent grape being in
Hermitage.
South Africa known as Hermitage, which is
Sanso.
So yeah, Sanso, and if you were a grape breeder, you would crossbreed Sanso and Pinot Noir, and you get Pinotage.
Bish, bash, bosh, and that's exactly what the South Africans did.
There you go.
So the lovely thing about this wine is that it doesn't need food. But there is food, isn't there?
Yes, so the canapé suggestion with this wine was our lovely spiced shredded chicken. So the really nice thing about cooking chicken in this way, because it's basically poached in loads and loads of spices and then shredded up, and we've suggested that you pop it on a nice bit of cucumber. You get a really lovely, rich flavour, but it's not heavy, and I hope it goes really well with the Pinot Noir. So I think we might attempt to try it without the dog eating one. And a quick hello to Fenella and Rosie, who are zooming and tasting with us.
Hello, Fenella and Rosie.
Right,
come on, dog. Don't even think about
it.
Here
come the canapés.
So, beauties.
These are our chicken, shredded chicken on a courgette, not a cucumber.
Because we couldn't get a cucumber.
So I'm just going to go first. Has anybody there got the canapés?
In fact, we would love to see you guys. So if you've got a photo, there was a few people who posted some photos of themselves whilst they were drinking and eating on Sunday evening, and it's lovely to see you. So if you've got a photo, share it on Facebook. We can at least sort of see you having fun.
Yeah, because we can't see you guys. You can see us. So
right, so I'm going in.
I've actually gone a bit curveball with this, and we had some dried cranberries, which I popped in the stock to kind of plump up and then chopped up, and that little bit of fruit goes really nicely with the fruitiness of the Pinot Noir. Finn does want some, you're right. I'll give him a dry biscuit. He's had a bit of a dodgy tummy this week. So
don't worry about the dog.
Yeah, he ain't going to starve. He's got 7 stone of
excess.
Well, yeah, reserves, let's say. So
I think also what would be nice on the top of that is a little cranberry.
Well, actually, I was just saying there is a little dry cranberry.
Oh, there is.
On the top,
maybe I didn't get that cranberry.
Good thinking, or maybe it was just you were listening in the very, very back of your mind.
So a little bit of sweetness from the cranberry picks up the ripeness of the fruit on this wine. But it's said these Villa-Wolf wines are so good. We do the Pinot Gris as well, which we've also covered a few weeks ago. So there's the Pinot Gris from Villa-Wolf, the Pinot Noir Rosé, and the Pinot Noir. But the nice thing about him is the chap Ernst Lucen, he gets real sort of character in all of his wines. So this wine, it's got a little bit of earthiness, it's got a little bit of smokiness, and it's got a little bit of fruit. And it's just, I don't know, I think it's lovely.
I think it's delicious.
Great summer drinking.
So Bernard King,
hello, Faye,
aka Dad, has just had a T-bone steak with his Villa Wolf, which probably wouldn't be the first one there, but the two things are delicious independently.
Oh, and the question has come through from Sarah, what, no lamb? It's a good point, actually. There is no lamb on these canopies today.
Or in Dad's menu. Hi, Faye and Kirsten as well.
So Germany. Now, please don't start asking me too many questions about Germany.
I've got a map. So Pam, keep talking. Keep fiddling. I'm going to get the map out.
Germany is my nemesis. I've worked in the wine industry for as long as I can remember, and Germany, probably because I can't speak German, I struggle to remember what's what and what's where. But I can tell you this is from the Pfalz region, which is literally, if you imagine, just above Alsace.
Here's a map I've just popped on the screen, actually.
Oh, so, she's very clever.
I know, isn't that good? So it's very small, what we were looking at, but it's the little orange blob to the left. So there's a long grey slip, which is the Mosel region, which is on the banks of the Moselle River that runs through Luxembourg also.
Yeah.
And then there's a sort of orange and yellow patch, and that is Pfalz.
Yeah. Now, the thing about the Pfalz region, if anybody fancies going to Germany, it's a great place to go because it has a lot less rain, a lot more sunshine, and it's an awful lot warmer because it's protected by there's a mountain region called the Harp Mountains on one side and the Rhine River on the other side. And basically, it's kind of interesting because they can grow figs there and lemons and oranges, and I mean, you wouldn't imagine that. You wouldn't imagine that you could do that in Germany, but they can do anything, can't they?
And actually, going back to Pinot Noir, just because we talked about this when we did our French sort of masterclass, that often you'd actually have no idea what is in a bottle. Mr. Lucen, the Villa Wolf wines, all have the grape varieties in written as names that you would recognise. So this wine says
simple,
Pinot Noir.
Simple. He gets it.
Pinot Noir is the biggest red wine grape variety grown in Germany. But actually, on a lot of German wines, you might not see it written as Pinot Noir because the German name for it is Spätburgunder. And all of the Burgunder names of grape varieties are Pinot something. Okay, so Germany is the biggest producer in the world of Weißburgunder, which sounds unsurprising because it just sounds like an indigenous German grape.
Weißburgunder,
which is actually Pinot Blanc. Yeah. Burgunder, Pinot, Weiss, white, Blanc. And
the Burgunder is a reference to Burgundy because the association.
All these Pinot grapes came to Germany from Burgundy.
Yeah. But don't be fooled because Germany is known all about its Riesling, which obviously is massive. But they produce an awful lot of Pinot Noir, a lot of Pinot Blanc, a lot of Gewürztraminer, a lot of Pinot Gris, also known as Pinot Grigio, but a hell of a lot better.
As the Villa Wolf Pinot Gris is.
Exactly. So this dude, Ernst Lucen, he is considered one of the gurus of the world wine industry. He just knows how to present wines that people want to drink. Nothing complicated, just light and just like
nice and clean,
lively, and just.
He doesn't use oak in these wines, does he?
Grown up. That's what I say. Grown up wine. This is.
So those of you enjoying it, you consider yourself sophisticated, and if you're not enjoying it, well, we'll leave that to you.
Right then. Any questions? Any questions?
The Wahlbergs are just suggesting that they're just glad to see the info on the front of the label, so you actually know what you're drinking. And actually, I'm all for that.
Super.
So when you think about the German, thinking back to the map, Pfalz is sort of probably a little bit further north, but roughly in line with Alsace.
Oh, we've got another question coming up here.
No, I was just going to point something out.
Okay.
And in Alsace, which has been German and then French and Tude and Frode, in Alsace they always put the actual name of the grape, or usually put the name of the grape on the bottle, unlike many other French
majority
regions.
Yeah.
So. Hi Jill, also just joined us, by the way. Nice to see you.
Hello, Jill Simon. Okay.
Steve is just saying when he was in Bavaria, it was hard to find wine. Hard to find wine amongst the beer. Well, when in Rome, if you're in a non-wine producing area.
Well, that's a very good question actually, because Germany is a massive beer drinking population country, but they are still what the 8th biggest producer of wine in the world.
8th biggest, yeah. So they're huge.
So you know, bear in mind, I've said this before. Bear in mind that France, Italy, and Spain represent over 60% of total world wine production. So those are the top 3. Followed by the US and Argentina and blah blah blah.
China's even up there. Turkey's up there actually, surprisingly.
Yeah, but Germany is still in the top 10, and yet yes, you are right. They are still massive beer consumers, and I doubt that's ever going to change.
Actually, we were traveling in Sri Lanka a few years ago, and there is a non-wine producing country, and the only wine we actually saw, and we didn't drink it, I hasten to add, was a couple of bottles of dusty Echo Falls sitting on the back shelf of a bar that had gradually gone browner and browner. It was rosé, actually, I think, and was probably about £40 a bottle. So sometimes you just have to opt for the local.
Is it at this point where I have to make a massive admission?
Always welcome, yeah. Well, what's the admission?
Is that bottle in the rack?
Oh, yes. Oh, here is a little...
hang on a second.
A little insight.
You'll love this, everybody.
Into Pam's working life. Now,
my working life.
Bearing in mind that we all have to start somewhere. And this, let's see if anyone recognises. You might should back label.
It's a bit dusty.
Anyone recognises this bottle and has maybe drunk it before?
There we go.
There's a good point.
Right. Recognise the shape of the bottle.
Who knows what it is?
Can you see the colour of the bottle?
No, it's a
and
good
that's
guess,
me. That's me. Somebody actually did me a personalised wine. Would you believe? That's me in my hockey kit with my cup of tea.
For those of you who aren't looking at it,
and I'm just going to turn it even further.
For those of you who aren't looking at it, it's a tall, slender, blue-coloured bottle with a blue cap on it. Yes, Luke's got it. Hillary's got it. Well, it's Blue Nun. So tell us what you did. You get all the dust is falling off.
I'm never going to drink this stuff.
Tell us about your time with Blue Nun, Pam.
Oh dear, dare I say I cut my teeth working for Blue Nun years and years ago. I think it was my first job, possibly my first job in the wine industry, working for Blue Nun. And my goodness me, the Walter Sichel, who was the guy that actually invented Blue Nun, he created a monster. And you know, everybody disses Blue Nun and Black Tower and this the other. The interesting thing is whilst Blue Nun was massive in the 80s, it's even bigger today. So there's more Blue Nun consumed today than there was even back in the 80s. Anyway, we did have an awful lot of fun, but I'm not about to drink it.
But these big brands, I mean, Hillary guessed at Matthias Rosé, which is a really good guess, actually. But also another long-enduring brand that is still super popular. We talked about that on Sunday at our Rosé extravaganza. So yeah, there's nothing to be ashamed of there, Pam. It's a real roaring success.
Thanks.
It's a roaring success still to this day.
Well, we'll move on from that one.
Actually, Luke's pointed out he's got a black tower hiding down the back, which maybe that's a gift at a dinner party that you don't want to go to.
Bob Reed's talking about it as well. There's Bob Reed. He's got a black tower as well. Oh, it's all coming out of the woodwork now. Right then. So, should we crack on with the next one?
Yeah. Well, we did our question for Pinot Noir. We'll move on to the Syrah, I think.
Oh, we've got another question.
Have you?
You've got another question.
Have I?
Yes.
But it's about the next wine.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay. So we'll move on to the next wine. Okay. But I hope people are enjoying this, and I hope that you enjoyed the canapé pairing because I think that works really well. Yeah. And just before we move on, I'm just going to mention next week. So next Thursday is curry night.
Curry night.
So we are testing your trepidation.
Curry night.
And the two wines that we'll be tasting.
Onion bhaji.
The two wines that we'll be tasting are from the Sula vineyards in Nashik, which is in Maharashtra, which is about 100 kilometers inland from Mumbai. So they're Indian wines.
Right, bang in the centre of the country.
Yeah, so I hope you guys will be adventurous, get the wines. Well, we put out the canapé pairings already, or order in a takeout and support your local curry house. Yeah. They're really good with Indian food. Yeah. So
actually, and that's a really important thing to say just before we move on. Actually, these, Indian wine, this is not a gimmick. The Indians know how to make wine, and they also know how to make wine that goes with their food. So obviously, and this is so obvious, and I don't understand why you see so little Indian wine served in Indian restaurants.
Because they're good. Well, I'm not. That was going to be a huge sweeping
we'll
generalization.
talk about that curry night on Thursday.
So we're going to move on to the syrup. Before we do, just to say,
please do. Put any red wine in there.
Yes, please do ask any questions you like. Pop them on the chat there, because we're happy to answer. And now's your opportunity. Obviously, we need to wrap up before 8 because everyone's got to go out and clap the wonderful NHS and care workers out there, but with plenty of time.
Hey!
Jill and Simon on the phone.
Right, I've nearly. Let's go.
So Jill's having curry night tonight.
Well, the Pinot Noir will go very nicely if you've got it, Jill. Well, you probably haven't, but do get it. This is a lovely wine to go with a nice light red wine to go with curry. Oops.
Yeah, although you don't want it too spicy because I think it might kind of overpower the wine.
Yeah.
But you've got to get the Indian wines because that's what it's all about. So next Thursday, Tim Carter and Tracy are loving the David and Goliath night. So that's nice to know. Cheers, guys.
Hello, Tim Carter.
So remember, send us your photos of what you're looking at because actually, I will post a photo of what we're looking at. It's quite entertaining, actually. So on to the Syrah Gran Reserva from Chile.
Yeah.
This is a producer, Casas del Bosque or Casas del Bosque, depending on what the right pronunciation is. I'm not sure we've actually figured it out. These guys have been on our list since day dot.
Yes. Which
was the 1st of November 2012. And Pam will show you the label, and I could put the picture back up.
You might notice that we've already had a bit of a crack at this wine. Not today, I hasten to add, but we did open it yesterday in the knowledge that we were going to be showing it today. And the reason why we knew we could do this is because often we take this to our events, we put it in a decanter. And bear in mind that the events that we do are maybe sort of 3, 4, or 5 days, depending on the event.
In a field.
Mm-hmm. This wine opens up and opens up and opens up. And more often than not, the third day, it's really, really showing. So do try and decant this wine. If you haven't got a decanter, basically pour it in the jug, pour it out of the bottle into a jug and pour it back into the bottle. Just get as much air in it as possible. So we did have a little glass of this last night.
Just to test the water, because we've not tasted it for a wee while.
Yep.
This is 2017 vintage, I think, isn't it?
Is it?
Okay, well, we'll check that in a moment.
Is it?
Yes, it is. This wine has got aging potential. So actually, having it open in that decanter, it's sort of speeding up that aging process.
And I tell you what, when you pour it, you can see the thickness and the concentration of it. It is massive. There we go.
Try and do this with that.
Massive. It's almost like sort of treacle the way it comes out. It's almost black. And this is what Casas del Bosque are all about. They're all about extracting as much fruit out of their grapes, if you like, fruit character out of the grapes as they possibly can.
One thing you've got to do with this, if everyone has poured a glass or a splosh in a glass, give it a really good swirl.
Give it a really good swirl. Look, smell that, doggy.
Finn's getting into this. You would definitely have a slurp on that.
And then stick your nose in and just...
Well, this has been called, this has been named, in fact, it might even be in the tasting note on the website, Ribena on steroids.
And that's exactly what it is.
It's like,
smell that. It smells good, doesn't it? Yeah. If he's not tasting it, he's not drinking it.
Okay, made of rich black curranty flavour. And they just go for serious concentration, don't they?
Yeah. So anybody who's been to Chile, it comes from Casablanca.
I'm going to get my map.
Oh, she's got a map. Here we go. Here comes a map.
Keep talking while I find it.
I can sort my hair out after that.
No, you're still visible.
Am I?
keep talking.
So it's from Casablanca region, which is basically just outside Santiago, the capital, which is probably about three quarters of the way up. Bear in mind that Chile, from south to north or north to south, is one hectic long motorway.
If you look at the map, which is on the screen now, Chile in the bigger South American map is that whole strip down the left-hand side, and then the zoom in on the region. Santiago's up in the yellow patch.
Is it that yellow? Is that big black dot?
So I've not briefed Pam on the map. So the black dot is Casablanca Valley, and Santiago is sat in the middle of the yellow area. So it's from up there near the yellow.
Yeah. So probably about 30, 40 kilometers outside of Santiago. It's a beautiful, beautiful area. And bear in mind that Chile, really, really narrow country. So it gets these lovely westerly winds, which keeps the climate relatively, well, not hot, but actually you get some nice coolness coming through as well on the ocean. And also the Andes on the right-hand side, and the Andes are super important because...
But they protect, they're at the end of your armies, obviously.
The end of your armies,
And they also protect the country from all the other bugs that might be coming off from the rest of the continent, actually. You know, as a tall mountain range, you also get meltwater coming down, which is natural irrigation. Excuse me, there's no bugs, the pests are very, you know, there's no need for pesticides. And as well, at the very north of the country, you've also got the desert, not so good for the irrigation aspect, but very good for stopping the wee beasties.
Yeah. So actually, there was an article in the newspaper probably about 18 months ago that suggested that if there was a country that could sort of get its act together and come together, it could arguably declare itself organic, because it's so easy to crop there. You know, everything grows in abundance, and there's very, very little issues with
farming.
Yeah, nasty
pests.
Yeah. And so there's no need for sort of, you know, intervention, which essentially makes it theoretically even more cheaper to produce, because they don't have to pay for chemicals, they don't have to protect the vines, they just let them do their own thing. And of course, bear in mind also that Chile, the resources are still relatively cheap. So bang for buck, you actually get a hell of a lot more bang for your buck in a Chilean wine than you do in, say, somewhere like New Zealand, where employment is a hell of a lot more expensive than it would be in Chile. So we're massive advocates of Chilean wine. And if you did desperately feel the need, I don't know why you would, but to go and buy a brand from the supermarket, the only one that you should go and buy would be a Chilean one.
So I'm just looking at if there's a few comments coming in, just zooming back to India for a moment.
Oh yeah.
Luke and Simon went to an Indian restaurant, in fact, the Cinnamon Club, so don't hold back on the quality there, Luke. And the waiter insisted on the white was chilled really, really cold, and suggested that was the thing with that wine. And then Luke was asking if that's the thing with Indian wine or just the bottle they had. Now, I think any wine that's chilled too cold.
Depends whether you're having a fal. Were you eating a fal or a vindaloo? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But you lose all the lovely flavour. And actually, we're not going to go any further with Indian because that's next Thursday. But we'll let you know with this Pyongyang next Thursday, because if you chill it too much, then you lose the character.
And that's the same with any wine. In actual fact, you know, over chill, and you basically just muting the flavours and the characteristics, and essentially the wine becomes dumb. So pointless.
There's a few people who have done the canapes. Sam has. Sorry, moving back to the syrup. The canapes that was suggested was duck. Essentially teriyaki duck on a little slice of cucumber. Sam's gone off piste and done a lettuce cup with a sweet cucumber pickle, which sounds delicious. Hope it works well with the wine. Tim has done the duck canapé but with beef, which is absolutely excellent. So that's great. We're about to do the duck canapé with tuna, which might not work quite as well, but let's give it a go.
Well, we didn't have beef and we didn't have duck, but beef is a really good call.
So seared tuna, still with the teriyaki marinade with a good drizzle on top. Can definitely knock you over.
The bottom line is that the canopy, or whatever food it is, it has to be massive and robust and big flavours to capture the big flavour, or balance out the big flavours that you're getting out of the wine. Okay, is it good? Is it good?
Yeah.
I can't even grab. Here we go.
Excuse us a moment.
Tuna.
So. Wine is the best way to work out whether these things go. And actually, I think it doesn't matter that the tuna's lighter, because the richness of the kind of teriyaki.
I think what the tuna does is that actually draws out the fruit, but also draws out the tannins as well to a degree.
A little, and that
the
might
fruit
be
really lifts. I mean, just talking about the differences between, you know, Syrah. By the way, does everybody know the other name for Syrah?
Oh, that's our next starter for 10. The other
Well
name,
done, Simon.
Syrah is known as.
Well done, Hilary.
Shiraz, Hilary and Simon in there first. They are hearing it first. But yeah, well done. Bang on, Shiraz, Syrah. Why we have to know this? Yeah, Steve's in there as well. Why we have to name grapes different things in different countries is beyond me. It just makes it more complicated.
Why do we have to talk about grapes at the full stop? Oh, I didn't hear that, Simon. Sorry, say that again.
Isn't Syrah a place in? Oh no, sorry, Shiraz is a place in Iran.
It is.
Yeah, Shiraz is a place in Iran.
Yeah.
Something like that.
But the only, I mean, the distincting obviousness is that Pinot Noir naturally has very little pigment in its skins, and Syrah or Shiraz naturally has a hell of a lot more. But also, in the winemaking process, what happens is they pick the grapes, and then they basically, essentially, for want of a better word, they steep the grapes on their skins for about 48 hours to 72 hours or something like that. So quite a significant length of time. And this is before the fermentation even starts. So it's literally just the grape juice sitting on its skins. And basically they're just trying to extract as much out of the skins as possible. And this is why, then they macerate and basically take the skins off and start the fermentation. But this is why you're getting such huge concentration of the colour. And arguably you should always get that in Syrah or Shiraz.
And actually, so Shiraz or Syrah, this is known as a Syrah, so we'll call it Syrah.
Call it Syrah.
Syrah is actually quite a small planting in terms of Chilean grape varieties. It's only around about 6% of all the grapes grown in Chile. So I wonder whether anyone would hazard a guess at what most widely planted grape and therefore produced wine in Chile is. I know I was about to give something away. So yeah, what is the most widely planted grape and therefore wine produced in Chile?
Yeah.
Think about that.
Your blog, is it?
The Wahlbergs are asking about where to find...
Wrong, Simon.
The Wahlbergs are asking where to find the canapé recipes. On our website, if you go to the homepage, there's a link to our Facebook live tastings at the top, and that should bring up the list of the wines to come and the canapé recipes. Hopefully, if it's all working properly, bear with us. I mean, we're learning everything at the moment. Look, I can put maps on the screen now.
There's a lovely canapé on there, which is fantastic, with the Philip Shaw Architect Chardonnay, and it's mushrooms on toast with truffle oil dribbled all over it. And I've got a question for Jude, actually, because I want to know how much space, what optimum space do you need to produce the best fungi?
Wow.
Shall I tell you?
Yeah.
As mushroom as possible.
Oh, oh, I hope the world is cringing with me.
Love it. Moving on quickly.
Moving quickly on. The Wahlbergs have got the answer. Bang on. Cabernet Sauvignon is number one.
Well done, Wahlbergs. Well done.
So actually, Sauvignon Blanc is, well, the Cabernet Sauvignon makes up about 30%. Sauvignon Blanc is second, but around about 18-20%. No, exactly. So if you guess Sauvignon, it's a good guess.
But
good,
Syrah, but Syrah is only
6%. So it's really quite dinky. And between, well, I'll tell you the run up to Syrah. So you've got Cabernet, Sauvignon, Merlot, which obviously you see a lot of Chilean Merlot around, especially at the cheaper end of the scale.
And then drum roll,
Chardonnay.
Oh, okay.
And then Carmenere, which is, we tasted our Carmenere by Casa Selbos a couple of weeks ago.
Carmenere is Chile's answer to Argentina's Malbec.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And actually,
and if you want to know about Malbec,
segue. On Sunday, so our Sunday session, our 6 p.m.
mental about Malbec.
Sunday back to basics session. Mad about Malbec.
Mad about Malbec.
So we're going to talk all about Malbec. We've got 3 or 4 Malbecs in our range, all of which we'll mention. But feel free to just grab yourself a glass of any Malbec. But obviously, it'll be better if it's from Hannibal Brown.
Yeah.
And Malbec's got really interesting stories. So do come and join at 6 o'clock on Sunday, because that'd be really fun.
Okay. So just to finish off a little bit more about this wine. So it's been steeped in its grape skins for an awful long time. So that's why you're getting this huge colour. It's then fermented in stainless steel tanks and then taken out of the tanks and transferred to oak barrels oak barriques, where it sits in oak barriques for about 18 months. So that's when it's getting its real concentration and its vanilla-y connotations and its earthiness and all that nonsense.
That's a big monster of a wine, this.
So it's 2017. It's literally only just released onto the market, like in the last couple of weeks, actually, because we were on 2016. Some of you may have the 2016, and lucky you. The nice thing about this wine is that it drinks well now. With the right food, you probably don't want to drink it on its own because it's big. But beef, duck, teriyaki, anything you put on the barbecue.
Aubergine, obviously, as a vegetarian option.
Yeah, anything you put on the barbecue, or pulses actually for vegetarians. I think pulses more than vegetables as such.
And actually, I'm going to just go put my neck out here.
Yeah.
So it's one of those. If you like this, you might like moments. And I've just been thinking about it because this is really such a lovely, rich, fruity wine.
Oh, here we go.
I think it's almost in reverse. If you picture yourself as someone who loves drinking Amarone, Amarone is it's basically almost like a wine made from raisins. It's so rich and fruity. I think, but it's also 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 pounds a bottle. I think if you like Amarone, you would like this Grand Reserve Syrah, and it's only about $16.50. So I'm going to put it out there to suggest to any budding Amarone drinkers to save your pennies in these tough times. Absolutely. Go for a lovely Grand Reserve Syrah.
Absolutely. In fact, any Hannibal Brown wines, they're all great value for money, obviously.
Yes. Exactly.
And if you buy 12, you get free delivery.
Yeah, Bush, don't forget to mention that. So we'd really love to know how you're getting on with the canapes. We'd love to see your photos. Yeah. We'd love for you to share these events with other people who might enjoy coming and joining.
Share. We want to get the numbers up. We want to turn this into, what is it they do on BBC? No, the radio sounds thing. Brexit cast or whatever it is. Brexit cast radio. This is going to be Winecast.
Winecast. Anyway, and also, if we can really get super popular, we got the BBC. We don't have to worry with all this coming from phones and laptops and lighting. We'll just
we do, because they won't come here because we're still in lockdown.
That's true, actually. So do tune in on Sunday, which is our Malbec day. Let us know if you've got any questions right now. But Sunday, mad about Malbecs. Bring a glass. Whack a steak or something vegetarian on the barbie,
or
sit
not,
and join us,
or
chat about
something meaty,
a bit more about wine, get your questions ready.
Can I just say something?
Of course you can.
There's a new thing out this morning. Actually, we sent a campaign out. If you follow us, then you might have got it. We've got our DIY tasting kits have been phenomenally successful during these times. And we have introduced an organic DIY tasting kit. So it sits alongside the luxury tasting kit and the other tasting kits. But there's all sorts of little tasting kits. Basically, you can buy them. You can share them with your friends and family, your neighbours and what have you. Everybody gets a kit. They're full of quiz questions. The bottles are blindfolded. Not blindfolded, what you mean? Concealed. Concealed.
Yeah, no, they're really fun. The mini kit's only 3 bottles. So.
And it really does make for a really good evening of entertainment. So check out the DIY tasting kits on hannibalbrown.com. The other thing is also, if you're liking our wines and you're enjoying this and you really haven't tested the waters yet, please do go onto the website. There's no minimum order. It's only a 1 bottle. And, if you ask us nicely and you're in the vicinity, we might even drop it in for nothing. And also other people who may not even know this, but we've got a subscription service, which is the most flexible subscription service ever.
There is,
I think maybe people don't look at Hannibal Brown as a subscription service, but actually it's out there. So if you can't be bothered to choose your wines every month or every 2 months or every 3 months, we'll do it for you. You just tell us what you like and we'll bang them out to you. So check out the subscriptions.
So join us on Sunday.
We'll have a different colour shirt on Sunday.
Must be back to green again, probably.
We need a different colour.
The Wahlbergs are asking why earlier on a Sunday, and the answer is it's Sunday.
It's
Monday
Sunday.
The next day, you've got to go to work. Come on. Think about these things. Well, some of us have to go to work anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, do join us at 6 o'clock on Sunday. Mad about Malbecs. Next Thursday.
Curry night.
Try and keep Pam's inappropriate.
And what's the Sunday following?
Australia.
Oh, Aussie.
Yeah,
Aussie.
Yeah.
Very controversial. Lots to talk about there.
Remember, you can look on the website to find the canapes, the wines coming up. Order them, we'll get them to you in good time. If you want to have a look at the DIY tasting kits, they're all on there too, and the Wine Explorers Club subscription service. Yeah. Or just pick up the phone and give us a shout, because we love to talk, as you can tell. Because it's
so here's the thing, I've got another question actually. Is there a like or a not like button on this?
Because then tell them about the not like.
Then people could say which wine they like and which wine they don't like. But actually, it'd be really nice to get the thumbs up on which wine you prefer. Or actually, to be honest, they're not preferences; they're complete, totally different styles. But it'd be great to hear if you like the wines. Yeah. Don't bother contact us if you don't.
Yeah, no, we like to hear either way. And also, if there is
Pinot Noir,
if you think you've had a bottle that is out of condition or corks or whatever,
don't contact us.
No, you have to let us know, because we'll replace it immediately, obviously. Okay, well look, thank you everyone for joining us. Thanks guys for making the canapes and getting involved. It's brilliant. Do send us or pop the photos of you enjoy your canapes and wine on the Facebook page. We'd really appreciate it. If you could share with your friends and family and anybody who you think might enjoy joining.
Here he comes. He's come to say cheerio. Come on.
Finn's gonna.
Okay, he's done it.
Okay, right. That's
gone.
Okay, that's bye from Finn then. So
okay, that's it.
Yeah,
that's a wrap.
Everybody. Lovely
it's time to get out there. You've got 15 minutes to go and get your gin and tonic or your glass of wine and get out there and
charge your
cheer on the NHS.
Charge your glass and go for the clap.
All right. Nice to see you guys. See you Sunday, 6 o'clock. Don't be late. Bye. Bye.
Thanks ever so much. That was brilliant.